Okay, so Joe Biden just won the election, as you probably know by now. If you consider yourself to be a rational human being or anyone who cares about the planet at large, really, this is great news. I mean, out of the entire Democratic field, all 20 candidates that ran in the primaries, I would have picked any of them and voted for any of them over Trump. He is horrific and will probably go down as one of the worst presidents in modern American history. He's harmful to the planet at large, from like foreign relations to the climate. He's harmful to the American citizens with how he's legislated and dictated over COVID, and then he's harmful, as it turns out, to his own supporters with them getting hypothermia and then heat stroke at his rallies within the last week. There's not much else to say about Trump. Everyone has their own feelings, and hopefully, the consensus is with most people that he's a terrible individual. But that brings me to Joe Biden and the way I think his presidency is going to go down. So I think that Joe is going to go in, focusing really on COVID. He's probably going to reinstate the task force that him and Obama had installed in the White House, essentially. He's going to task the CDC and, fund them a lot better. He's going to be listening to his experts and having advanced counsel and very knowledgeable counsel, I would say, rather than Trump, who is completely going off his own gut and his own really what he thinks to be the best option. He said multiple times he doesn't regard the science. He doesn't care about what the scientists say. Joe Biden is completely the opposite. He will, know how to handle COVID and approach it. I would say 1,000 times better than Trump. Doing the most basic thing like a mask mandate or even just wearing a mask is will make a pretty big difference, and also not holding rallies and holding essentially a super spreader events from state to state is making a big difference too. So I think he's going to go into his presidency, like I said, focusing on healthcare and climate change. His climate plan, I don't think it's definitely not the Green New Deal. It's not on that scope yet, but it's better than what anyone else was pretty much offering. And I think he has the political knowledge and I would say expertise to actually get legislation passed, and he knows how the mechanics work rather than like a candidate like a Pete Buttigieg, who would kind of, I think, would have gone in a little bit clueless to the presidency and would have been one of those, I gotta get the feel for the job kind of guy. Joe already knows how to do most of the job. I mean, he was vice president for 8 years under Obama, and I think he's then going to focus on healthcare, especially with his rhetoric lately. How he came out in the last debate said he'll support the public option for healthcare, and he'll fight for that. And I know a lot of people are saying that, well, that's the same rhetoric that Obama said in 2008, and I would say it's just it's a different time, especially with COVID, and I think. Biden with Kamala, who is not looking to be a just fill in vice president, not someone who's just going to kick back. I think she's going to have a really integral role within the administration. I think that she'll play a big part, especially with COVID, in regards to multiple task force that she's probably going to be in charge of. So I think these are great, and I think that the left needs to definitely focus on pushing Joe to the left a little more, especially when it comes to climate. I mean, like, yeah, I definitely have a lot of critiques of his climate plan, but again, it's still 1,000 times, if not more, better than Trump and his approach right now, which is basically to just say similar with COVID that the science community is wrong and I'm right, and I'm Trump. That's why. Um, so this is great news. I couldn't be, this is, I was a little worried there for a second with the election, especially leading up to it with some of the reports coming out of the swing states. But, this is great. And we didn't have a repeat of 2016 where the polls were, wrong in their final prediction of the candidate. This was a essentially unanimous consensus among a lot of the pollsters, including some of the prominent Fox pollsters, who came out and said Trump is going to lose most likely. He is not doing what he needs to do. This is ridiculous, which I thought was great. I thought that was hilarious and pretty fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, like, Biden will do pretty much, you know, I think similar to Obama's approach with climate and healthcare, but on a little bit of a higher scope. I mean, Biden is a much more kind of political figure than Obama was. He's much more kind of down in the dirt kind of guy. He'll, definitely, he knows how to, like I said, he knows how to play politics, and he knows how to get legislation passed if he wants to. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, like, I do have much more optimism now for the future that Biden is elected rather than Trump. And I think that the left needs to focus on 2022 and 2024, and again, pushing Biden to the left more on legislation. And you can do that, through the Senate, through vocalizing your opinion, through media outlets. And I think Kamala is more, in touch with the left, and, I would say she's more in touch with the leftist critiques. Really, she's not a leftist by any standard, but she is much more aware of what the community wants. That's why she came out initially for Medicare for all in the beginning, and then retracted it when she, with kind of playing football with the possibility of getting chosen for vice presidency. But I think this is going to be a really good year and really good 4 years, much better than it could have been. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, please drop a like. It'd be much appreciated, and if you want to subscribe, that would be even better. Thanks, guys.